Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 5. I am the Utah Ranger. Before we begin here, I want to give a quick shout out to everybody who has liked, subscribed, commented, shared the page, viewed any of the videos so far, episode 1 through 4. I really appreciate that a lot. I did another poll on my social media. This one was on the Facebook page to see what it is that you guys wanted to see next. And the Marvel Legends series took the win again. So this is 2 weeks in a row it's taken the win. Today we're going to be reviewing Spider-Man from the Infinity Wars Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Now this is technically the Iron Spider suit from the Cinematic Universe. This suit is given to him by Tony Stark before he passes out and falls to Earth from low Earth orbit. When trying to chase Ebony Maw into space on his weird ring spacecraft after they kidnapped Doctor Strange to try to take the Time Stone out of the Eye of Agamotto. So he was supposed to go back to Earth after Tony gave this to him because he was running out of oxygen, and Tony made the auto parachute deploy. But Peter, being the hardhead he is, he followed him back and kind of saved him and Doctor Strange with his 80s pop culture movie knowledge, that he was able to recall some things that have happened in certain movies. I do believe it was Alien that was referenced. And he actually ended up kind of saving the day, and they were able to defeat Ebony Maw. They don't really know whether he's dead or not. He did kind of go frozen out into space, so he's probably dead. Not being familiar with what type of actual alien being he is, I don't know if he can survive the vacuum of space. I know there are some beings that can, some that cannot, but this suit actually is really cool. I do like it a lot. The actual figure itself differs slightly from the box art. The box art does show this figure with metallic red paint, as well as a deeper metallic blue to go along with the actual gold paint, which I'm super happy that they actually did gold paint. Again, one of my big things is from experiencing Bandai's craft cheese color gold instead of actual gold paint. When there is a figure that has gold paint, I do enjoy it a lot. So in this situation, they did use actual gold paint, but there is no metallic red. The blue is slightly metallic. If you look at the box art that's to the left here, you can kind of see it's a pretty metallic sheen kind of red. And this is more of a matte kind of red almost, which I'm fine with. I'm not definitely not putting the figure down by any means. It still looks great. It would have been really cool to have the metallic painting on it. It's not like you can't, maybe get another figure or do a custom paint job on the one that you have. Being a collector, doing customs is something I think everybody should at least attempt once to see, if you can make one of your favorite figures a custom or more show accurate or more movie accurate. I'm a big proponent of that. So again, in this situation, this is part of the Marvel Legends series for Infinity War. This figure did come with the Thanos Build-A-Figure left leg. What we're actually going to be doing with those Build-A-Figure pieces is we're going to collect them all to the very end of the series, and then once we finish the final figure in the series, we'll actually showcase the Build-A-Figure as its own specific figure. I feel like that will be a much better showcase for the Build-A-Figure rather than showing it piece by piece and then potentially building it, then showing half a figure and then finally building up to the final figure. I feel like it would be cooler to do each one of the figures that's in the lineup and then do the Build-A-Figure at the end. So we did skip figure number 1. Technically, Tony's Iron Man suit we did in episode 4 was figure 0, technically, in this series. Captain America is figure number 1. This is figure 2 in the series. And again, I'm a super big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything that they've done so far. I don't really have any complaints about what they've done. I think they've brought it to life really well. So we do have some other figures that we're going to go over in the future. I just felt like maybe since we did Iron Man, maybe we should showcase Peter's Iron Spider. And in this situation, I am very happy with the figure in question. He does look great. I do apologize, I had to reach in and get the rotation turned off on this. He does look cool. Again, the matte paint doesn't really bother me. But just like with any other figure, you do have to be careful with them. Just one thing I learned growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, is once the figure's new, you gotta be very careful with the joints. He does have a little bit of wiggle in the chest joint, which is fine. This Spider-Man has a lot of articulation. Obviously he's got his ankle joints. They are both swivel and pivot. He also has the double knee joints, which is cool. He's got the swivel on the thigh joints and then the flex and pivot at the hips. He's got a swivel at the hips as well as a pivot for the chest. Then he actually has these really cool chest ball joint kind of joints on here that allow him to do some really more kind of flexible moves rather than some of the other Marvel Legends series figures. But he does have the ball joints in the chest, the pivot and swivel shoulders. He's got the bicep swivel, the double elbow joint, and then he's got a pivot, a slight pivot and swivel of the wrist. Now he does come with his web thwipping hands. He didn't come with any extra hands, no fists or anything like that, which is fine. I just think it would be really cool if they did at least maybe give one Spider-Man fist, so you could kind of put him into some cool action poses. All in all, he is a really good figure. He's very poseable. He doesn't have a lot of misshaping or case molding, is what I like to call it, where they've been created, put in the plastic vacuum molds, and then they end up having bent portions of them. The only thing that's really like that is the right hand. His pinky on the right hand is a little bit bent weird, which is fine because he kind of has his fingers bent to begin with, so it's bent inwards just a little bit. That can be corrected with warm water, the warm water method. I prefer that much more than heat gun. Heat guns can be very touchy. You have to be very careful. You can use a blow dryer. They're a little bit lower temperature than a heat gun. You just kind of have to be aware of what it is that you're doing. But again, in this situation, I don't have any complaints. Again, the metallic paint would be the only thing that I would think differs from how it's shown in the box art and how it was displayed at the toy fairs, as opposed to how the actual figure is. But it's not a big deal. It looks great. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to play with some colored lighting. I know that you guys, if you're familiar with the channel, I like to do a minute or so of some custom colored lighting, because I think that it adds a little bit of character to the figure. I am a fan of lighting with figures. I think that everybody should have their figures displayed however they want, in whatever type of display that they want, because really collecting is about having fun. And you know, some people are box collectors, some people are displayers, some people won't cut the tape on their box ever, some people will. I am one of those types of collectors that I do plan on having some pretty cool elaborate displays. I haven't had the ability to do that as of yet, but I do plan on doing it in the future, and you guys will be able to see those displays when they're all set up and ready to go. But in this case, again, this is the Marvel Legends series Iron Spider-Man figure from Infinity War. Again, I'm a very big fan of this. Not only the movie itself, but the actual figure line. We are going to go over the rest of the figures. I still am going to hold some polls. I don't know if I'm going to do it weekly. However, I will do some polls. If you guys want to shoot over to my Facebook page, there is the Utah Ranger is my actual main content creator Facebook page. And then we also have a fan page, the Utah Ranger official fan page. And that's usually where I'll do the polls at, because it allows me to do more than just 2 choices on the fan page, rather than the actual content creator page only gives me the option to do 2. So in this situation, we're going to continue moving forward. I do appreciate all the support that everybody's given. It really means a lot to me. I can be found on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. If you guys are interested in following, supporting, I do appreciate likes. I do appreciate subscriptions on YouTube. And I also appreciate comments. Any kind of feedback, constructive criticisms, requests, anything like that. But I do want to give a quick shout out to a Facebook page that I am a huge fan of. I ended up being the 500th member. It is a local Utah Facebook page. It is Utah Toy Hunters Incorporated. Those guys are awesome. They do have a lot of different vendors that are on there. They do have a lot of private members, sellers, and everybody on there has been more than hospitable. I really appreciate it. So, again, this will be the end of the video here. I do appreciate you guys. The next video will be next week, and we'll see if we're going to put a poll up or not. Follow my Facebook page if you guys want to vote on those polls. And again, leave a like, subscribe, comment, and may the power protect you.